I'm sorry. Oh. I'm sorry.
Private property.
Now to a KSL 5 exclusive. A property owner in a viral altercation with a snowboarder in Brighton last month is now facing charges. Keith Stebbings is charged with aggravated assault and making a threat of violence.
News specialist Shelby Lofton spoke exclusively to his attorney today. And Shelby, they weren't expecting these charges.
Deanie, that's right. Stebbings' attorney told me that they were cooperating with the detective on this case, and this announcement really caught them off guard. Just a note of transparency to our viewers, I did interview Steve Burton just a few days after this incident about property owner rights. He told me that after our story aired, Stebbings had reached out to him and hired him as his attorney in this case. And he says while his client didn't handle this the best way, he believes he didn't break any laws.
We were really surprised that they filed charges.
The property owner we see in this video holding a gun is Brighton resident Keith Stebbings.
He, like many other homeowners, purchased the property several years ago before the big Cottonwood Canyon ski resorts became extremely popular.
His attorney, Steve Burton, says Stebbings has been dealing with invasive skiers and snowboarders for years.
Multiple times a day, he'll have people walking right past his front door, looking into his house.
Burton took these photos of trespassing signs he says Stebbings stationed around his property.
Anybody coming down that portion of the mountain would likely have seen those.
Yeah, there was no signs.
California snowboarder Lauren Richardson said he didn't know he was on private property. When he came down the owner's driveway,
I'm sorry.
Stebbings was waiting for him, holding his shotgun.
I'm sorry.
Private property.
He wasn't intending to hurt anybody. The gun wasn't loaded. He was using it as a prop.
Burton says Stebbings tried other ways to keep people off his property.
The ski resort hadn't done anything about it. The signs weren't working. And finally, this day was the day where he didn't know what else to do.
The snowboarder says he took what he thought was a run that led to his Airbnb's neighborhood.
Hands in the air. Apologize. Sorry. I walked across your driveway.
While Richardson walks away, Stebbings is heard saying,
Do it again, there'll be
"There will be holes in you."
That was a bluff. Under Utah law, it's not a threat unless it's an immediate threat where the person reasonably believes that they're going to be injured.
He says Stebbings gave the rider a warning, but he says he has some regrets.
He recognizes that he didn't handle it in the most appropriate way.
Richardson told KSL he believes this was an overreaction that left him shaken.
Someone's gonna die, and we need to stop that.
And I did reach out to the snowboarder who recorded this video on his cell phone. He did not get back to me with a comment today. Stebbings' attorney also told me that homeowners up in Brighton are responsible for clearing all of that heavy snow they get almost on a daily basis. So when skiers and riders are coming over that and wrecking the work that they've done, it can be a little bit of a nuisance. I'll also be reaching out to Brighton Ski Resort to see if there's any records of complaints from Stebbings or other property owners up there and see if there's been any initiative taken or any work done to try to solve this issue. I'll send it back to you, Mike.
Yeah, pulling a gun probably not the best way to deal with a quote-unquote nuisance. So, all right, Shelby, we'll see where this goes. Thank you. We wanted to get a lawyer's perspective here on these charges, so we asked KSL legal analyst Greg Skortis about the charges. He says laws like stand your ground do not apply to this incident because the snowboarder did not enter the property violently.
It really only applies when you're using deadly force, such as a shotgun in this case, when the other person's entry is what they call violent or tumultuous. That is, that there's some reason for the homeowner to fear for their safety. And usually even that requires that it approach the home itself instead of just the property outside the home.
Skortis says homeowners are entitled to defend their property, but that defense does not include deadly force.